of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome, Gary.
Good morning, commissioners. How are you today?
We're fine. You?
Okay. So first on my agenda, and I need Barb for this. We received the TAN documents
Yeah,
that need to be signed by the county clerk, myself, and the commissioners. So we are doing a TAN for $6 million for 2024. Dan got those to me yesterday, so I just need a moment to sign those.
okay.
So the first signature is with Barb. And I also need. And we are signing the resolution of the commissioners of Waldo County, Maine, authorizing the insurance of and sale of up to $6 million on the 2024 tax anticipation note of
Do you
Waldo
know
County.
what you're costing us, Gary?
How much is it costing us? And
Totally, if we multiply them.
like probably 612,000. Sorry, wow, sorry. $312,000 with legal fees and interest.
Okay,
The next document is the 2024 tax anticipation note certificate of clerk. And that is your signature. If I took these off when they're done? Yep. There you go. The next is the certificate of the finance director. And this one pretty much says that we're not borrowing any other funds. And I am not aware of any other funds that we are going to be borrowing. And just use your seal. Now this one requires commissioners, myself and Barb to sign, and this is the anticipation, the official anticipation note. Whoops. So I will sign. Well, I need you to sign there.
Terry, can you hear me?
I can. Hi, Amy.
Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning, everybody. Sorry, I have pneumonia. Yay! So I have permission to look like shit. Anyway, Carrie, I caught that the total on the legal fees and the interest to pay back that TAN note is $312,000. Is the
Roughly.
assumed payback? If we pay back early, it should be less than that. And being that that is a legal document, I have to come down to Belfast either today or tomorrow. I will come in and sign those because I don't think they should be stamped.
yeah.
Do you know what
okay.
I mean?
Yeah.
My signature.
So then
So
I'll
if-
wait for you. I'll wait to send them until I get your signature.
And as I say, I will try to either skip down there at some point today, or it will be tomorrow, but I'll make sure that they're signed, because I think especially being such a legal document, I don't think it's fitting that any of us stamp.
Okay.
Good morning, Bill and Betty, and Susan and Barb.
Hello. Amy. And then the final document I will be signing is the Form 8038G, which will go to the Internal Revenue Service, letting them know that we have this bond. All right, I'm all set with Barb. Those are done, and wait for Amy to sign these, and then they'll go back to
Okay.
Eaton Peabody. I meant to email these to you, Amy, but I do have print offs of the appropriations for county and jail. Do you want me to wait and
No,
email?
just-
Pick them
No,
up?
don't bother, hun. Just hold them. And like I said, I'll swing in real quick, and I won't breathe on you and all that stuff, and sign and grab that if you don't mind.
Nope. So I will
Thank
give
you.
those to you. And those to you. So the bottom line on your budget for the county is we have spent 95% of the 2023 for the county budget. That leaves a balance remaining of 350,765.48. Now the department heads have final 2023 bills that they are bringing to me, so I can do an official end of 2023 closeout.
When was the date that they had to have that?
They have to have that by January 12th. And so the final 23 budget will come to you, or that final 23 warrant will come to you on the 18th of this month. So as of right now, I have about $37,000 worth of 2023 bills that I received after the close of today's warrant that we will need to account for, and I'm sure I'll probably get a few more between now and then. On the jail side, 94% of their budget has spent. They have 203,968.27 unspent. Again, still waiting for bills to come down to see what we'll have to deduct from that. So I feel we have very little funds, you know, to do what needs to be done.
Boy, I'm sure glad we told them to stop spending a few months ago.
Next, I do have a printout of the revenue accounts. We earned. Oh, I don't have my bottom page. Well, here are the revenue accounts. Just rough numbers, just on the interest that you see here on these accounts, roughly $127,000 in interest we collected.
Okay,
Okay. Do we need to do anything here with this, so noted, or? um,
Just for your information, where we are at with those.
I'm just gonna say so noted.
Okay.
So that we know that we've seen it.
So I've been racking my brain on ways that we can try to reduce our budget, and this is probably so small and probably not even worth the time I spent on this, but our water cooler, we pay a $15 a month fee. Figures out to $180 a year. We can buy one for roughly $120. I called Oak Grove. They said that they only clean it when we call them. But we are paying for the cooler. I believe, and I will double check, they will deliver even if we do not rent from them. We would just be responsible for cleaning it. I have no problem cleaning it.
Okay, so we rent the cooler
We rent the cooler, buy the water.
and then buy the water besides, okay?
Yes.
So then if we had the cooler, we wouldn't have to, do that $100 and some, right?
If we purchased our own cooler,
Right.
we would save $180. We would still be buying the water
Right,
and they would still deliver it. But we wouldn't be paying the $15 a month fee.
right, well, $15 a month is $15 a month.
That's how I feel. I mean, the savings won't happen instantly and it will take, the year because we are buying a
Right.
machine.
Yeah.
But that's one expense, moving next year that we won't have. Like I said, it's a thought. It's small change at the end of the day, but
I'm gonna make a motion that when you do this, they authorize you to do this. It is not something that will save us immediately, but it will be something,
what's your cooler cost us?
I can,
Buy,
to buy, I found one for $120.
Yeah.
I can get it as low as $90. I just don't know the quality and I haven't spent the time reading the reviews. This
that's a
one,
good deal,
Right.
Commissioner
Yeah.
Johnson.
no. You second, then,
Yeah, I do, yeah,
and we're all in favor, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Amy, you're in favor of that?
Yeah, sure.
so I am working on the end of year books for NDS. I've spoken to 4 different people and I've gotten 4 different answers. I am very reserved about closing the books on this, but I am this afternoon supposed to be working with hopefully Tanya, who's been doing the training that I've done trainings with, to get those closed. Every time I ask a question, I get an answer and I have 4 more questions. So I just don't have any confidence right now until I get the answers that I'm looking for. And then we transitioned to the ICS account for our bank accounts. It caused a glitch. And First National and myself were trying to work on this together. I'm gonna sit down with them because balances are not showing correctly. We're off pennies, we're off a little bit here and there. They're fully aware of that, but just to give you a heads up, I am working on it to get it straightened out.
Okay.
And then my final piece today is the warrants. I will start with the jail. The accounts payable is $42,686.91. Payroll was $50,839.90 for a total of $93,526.81.
Second. All in favor?
Second.
Oh. You voting in favor too, Commissioner Fowler?
Yeah, I said second. I'm sorry.
Can you
Okay.
hear my numbers okay, Amy?
Yeah, I'm having trouble hearing right now anyway, Carrie, but yes, I did. And I seconded it. I'll holler next time.
Okay. And can we use your stamp?
Yes, on those. Yes, thank you.
The county accounts payable is $164,071.05. The payroll for the county is $187,292.67 for a total of $351,363.72.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Yeah. Maybe we need to yep going.
Yep.
And that is all I have for right now.
I move that we accept the finance and, report.
Okay, all in favor?
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Carrie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got to back up for just a second. Commissioner Fowler, I know you was gonna be on here this morning, because I was gonna put the election of chairman off to February. But if you're on here, we might as well take nomination for chairman and get it done.
That's supposed to be the first order of business this morning, Mr. Chair. I nominate Bill Shorey as chairman.
I move that we, I nominate, Bill Shorey.
Amy already did.
Oh.
Amy
okay.
made-
I didn't hear that.
Oh, that's okay.
All right, well, now I will second that.
All right, moved and seconded, all in favor?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you, Commissioner Fowler.
All set?
thank you.
All right.
Good morning, commissioners.
Good morning, Annette.
Good morning, so glad to see you here, Commissioners Fowler, hope you're feeling better.
Yay. Yes, oh, yes.
Don't shake your head too much.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness.
So I first want to present to you the resignation of Elmer Sweetland. He works at the reentry program as a corporal, and he is resigning effective January 9th. I have talked to the administrative porter about the recruitment process he has, and we'll follow up next week, but he does have a plan in place and a direction he'd like to take. But as of right now, I'm just letting you know that that is in the works.
Was this, how long's Elmer been with us?
Elmer has been, if I remember right, I can't tell you exactly how long, Commissioner Fowler. The sheriff is here, he may know, but I don't know the date. I don't think
Is
it's been
this-
very long when I looked him up. I don't think he was here very long.
So
but-
is this employee one of the ones that might have potentially received a sign on?
No, not during that I could find a, Commissioner Fowler, no.
Good.
I will confirm that, but when I looked up his record, no, I don't think he was under that.
And I
Okay.
believe this stuff.
Thank you.
Nation, correct?
Yes, so do you, I make a motion, yes,
Make
I'm
a-
requesting a motion to accept his resignation.
Second,
So moved.
Okay, thank you.
all in favor?
Just going by my list here. I have the new health insurance premium that I would like to have you just sign and acknowledge. I have sent it out by email, but I just wanted to ask the commissioners if they'd be willing to sign the premium sheet that you have agreed to the 12%. I'll drop that off later.
Have you, Commissioner, you And Commissioner Fowler, Betty looked over the new contract.
As far
Health
as like any
insurance
changes,
contract?
yeah, no, this insurance is staying the same.
Same.
Yeah,
same
we just
fellows.
expanded it to include the
Yeah.
domestic partner coverage. So
I
has
read
the-
it as highlighted in several places, and I wondered how much changes the law.
yeah, no, not that I could see, that there was any changes.
Yeah,
But I will definitely double
Okay.
check with the different pair of eyes, but I'm not seeing any. The dental insurance too, I will also note for the minutes is there's been no change in the biweekly premium to the employee. There's been no changes to the monthly invoicing to the employer
And
for our dental insurance.
now the services, nothing changed with
No.
that.
No.
Thing, right?
Status quo.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And the thing that we did add, and I would like to have noted in the minutes for the health insurance and adding the domestic partner coverage.
Right.
Is going to be, the same as a employee and +1.
And we have approved this before, so now you just want us to sign it.
Yes, yes, exactly, Commissioner Johnson, I just want it noted. And the thing that we did and you voted on was adding the affidavit form that we're asking employees to sign to show proof. There's requirements in there that will ask you to provide some documentation that you have been a domestic partner for 12 months. So I just wanted that noted in the minutes for historical information. And so then also, you have voted on the COLA increase
yeah,
for the staff for 2024. I've updated those pay scales for non-union employees. And I will leave those for you to sign. I also left you a copy in case you wanted to double check me on a couple of them. And the one copy I left for Commissioner Johnson, I did put where the employees are currently being, what their salary is, so you can see where they are going to go in 24.
Yeah, because I did ask.
Yeah, okay, in case you wanted to double check. Check my hand calculator, and then I did use the Excel, so
We're not
hopefully,
going to sign this
No,
today,
no.
so we'll sign it next month.
Yeah. okay. And so then, I got a request to pay the clothing allowance that they have historically given to, some of, there's 5 of them that are covered under the bargaining unit for the deputies. So the sheriff's office has sent down a request for me to process a clothing allowance of $950 for a list of employees. And I didn't see anywhere in some minutes. I tried to research it in the employee handbook about what we pay, a dollar amount. And it, in the handbook, under the office of the sheriff, it does say that, there will be an allowance given to non-uniform personnel. It doesn't say salary employees, it just says non-uniform. But I'm asking to put in the minutes for documentation purposes that, and your approval to pay, so I am asking for a motion for you to approve spending, for me processing a payment to employees, salary employees, of $950 an employee, and there's 5 employees that are salary, non-union, that they're requesting to pay the $950 a piece. So my motion I'm requesting is approval to pay non-union and salary employees $950 for a clothing allowance for 2024.
I'd like
I'll
to
make
do-
that motion for discussion, if I may. I'll make that my motion.
And I do have a- okay. And then I didn't know if I wanted to put it in there or keep it separate. But these would be these union employee, non-union employees. And then I do have a full-time employee line where they're requesting to pay an employee. He is it's for the garden manager part-time position. They're requesting to pay the $425 clothing allowance to the garden manager for $425.
So, okay, so I've made that a motion. Betty, did you second that?
I did, just for discussion.
So to my recall, why I'm asking about this one now for the garden, because I do not recall us talking about a clothing allowance when we established this position last now it is last summer. And so I just want to have it documented for the request, but I wanted to get approval to pay $425 for this position.
Sheriff, do you have anything you want to add to this discussion?
I was made aware of, an email chain between HR and Chief Deputy Curtis, discussing this particular topic. He actually CC'd me in the email chain. There was conversation around basically, as Annette has said, she was inquiring about where it was documented that this was paid. We could not find anything. I know Chief Deputy Curtis suggested maybe that it might be in commissioner meeting minutes somewhere, but when we looked back in our budgets, we saw that it was in place at least as far back as 2010. And so we know that it's been the common practice of the county since at least before that. Exactly when it originated, that was paid out, I don't know.
I don't remember ever voting on anything
No.
like this. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been normal practices. I mean, it's been part of our collective bargaining agreement that the union folks get clothing allowances. And I think it's always been an expectation. I mean, for as long as I can remember, clothing allowances have always been a part of the sheriff's office. It's changed a little bit over time, but
And
it's always been there. And so,
what is that based on? I mean, for an amount,
well, in the contract, it's a negotiated amount.
right, yeah,
but-
but that's, you know, a contract.
Yep,
Non-union, there is no contract.
right. And we just base it off basically what we agreed to in the contract. We just apply the same formula for non-union as we do union, as far as clothing. The only real separation here is uniform versus non-uniform. So, and we obviously have those set up differently. If you're a non-uniform person, and I don't know all of the details behind it, maybe Annette can explain it, but for tax purposes, from what I understand, if a deputy gets a clothing allowance, he can utilize that. It's not taxed, if I'm correct, and so it's
No.
or something. But if
Mm-mm.
I get it in my paycheck, it's taxed. So that's the way I understand it. If I get the check issued to me, taxes are taken out of it, but I think it's viewed differently by the IRS if it's done through the budget and if they buy it through the department. Again, I don't know all of that. But
So what I do have here, it is documented in the contracts for the deputies, they're negotiated. So like they're detectives, for example, if we hire a patrol deputy, then the patrol deputy does list what they are to be given by the employer to do their job for a uniform. And for the detectives, they're covered in there to give them $950 for civilian type clothes based on them being a detective, and I'm assuming what they do. So that is covered there. In the handbook that is governed, the salary employees, it does reference non-uniform personnel shall be paid a clothing allowance with the approval. The clothing allowance will be set by the county commissioners and may be reviewed and changed when necessary. Clothing allowance is 100% because when I issue them a check directly to them, it's considered a taxable benefit. Like a life insurance, if employees make over a certain 50,000, it's a taxable, they have to pay a small piece of what the value of their life insurance is. So that's considered a taxable benefit. So my motion here is just, I couldn't find any approval and to be so direct, I'm not paying anything through payroll that I can't find the backup to approving it, especially for salary employees. So that's why I'm bringing this up. It's just one to create a documentation for in the future because the contract language doesn't cover.
I've never seen it.
Do we receive like receipts, like, bought a suit at Men's Suits or whatever for $250 or, got a good deal on some dress shirts. I know 100 years ago, Jeff used to get a a clothing allowance. And back then it was, because the state issued, the uniforms. And back then I can remember it was used for like dry cleaning and stuff, because Lord knows you don't wanna. So I mean, I guess, does this clothing allowance for $950, does that include like and I'm gonna call it swag, and I don't mean this insulting, I don't know what else to call it, like, when I see him with the jackets or the shirts or the nice sweaters or fleeces or whatever that have the sheriff's department logo, is that considered part of this clothing allowance? Because now I'm confused. I mean, $950, and it better be taxed, is quite a sum of money. Number one, every single year, that's like a bonus. And number two, especially if you don't have to, if there's no taxes taken out of it, that is highly wrong. And number three, I mean, I to pay it out in January also concerns me, because I believe we also found ourselves in a position just this past year where we had an employee that had already received their $950 clothing allowance, and is no longer in that position. Someone else is now in that position, and we had to pay another $950. So I mean, that line went in the red there, because we'd paid everything early. I just worry about paying some of this stuff January 1st too, but I know that's a lot of questions in it, so.
So for my question would be, I think is what I'm hearing you say is, no, I do not require, it doesn't require anywhere receipts. I just give them a blanket $950 check for them to spend as needed. I do not know what, it says non-uniform, what that encompasses, Commissioner Fowler, so I'm not, maybe the sheriff can answer that. I do not know what that 950 goes towards for a salary employee non-uniform. So to me, when I do see the non-uniform folks, one of them I do see in a uniform regularly when I see him, and he is in what I'm thinking is a county issued uniform in his role. So I don't know what the 950, and if we're issuing the 950 for what not, are we also paying for the uniform in which the employee is doing? Or it could be left over from prior to they taken the promotion into a salary position. So I don't know the answer to that, Commissioner, but I do want to reassure you, it is considered a taxable benefit. If we change it and want to require receipts, or I would recommend updating the handbook to reference what the 950 will go towards. For example, the garden manager. I definitely feel that there should be an allowance for safety boots, for example, because of the equipment that they use. They should be required to wear steel toe boots, for example. So I think we should, would definitely say, hey, yes, we'll give you a boot allowance or whatnot, whatever you folks want to do, but I would put some criteria around it.
Well, originally we had a motion on the floor to do this, is that right? Did you make a motion, Commissioner?
We made the motion for discussion.
For discussion.
And
And I think this is good discussion. I really do, but I think after going through the budget committee that we went through this past year, knowing that we're going to see a lot of those faces again, I will tell you, we have some really extraordinary people that do extraordinary jobs, and we've got some fine ladies that are in registry of deeds, which makes us money every single day, and up in probate and in the DA's office and everywhere else that meets with the public on a daily basis and looks extraordinary and carries himself with a level of extreme professionalism. And because they do that, I don't offer them any additional funding to do that. So for those that don't get anything extra, thank you for being awesome and looking extraordinary and carrying yourself well. And I mean, I guess this was in the budget. It was approved. So at this point, I guess we pay it. I caution you about paying it the beginning of January, but do whatever at this point. But I think this is just something that needs to come off the table, because I don't see that it's fair to many others. And the clothing allowance for the garden manager, Annette, you're right. He needs to have work boots, he needs to have safety glasses. You know, there's certain things that, I mean, just OSHA would
Right.
require if they saw him out there, but
Some
some
of
of
that-
this other,
We should be required to provide an order for the position just for safety issues, like safety glass, those should be part, but my only, to go back to the budget. So, and after asking several people the question, my takeaway is they approved X number of the budget committee approved X number of dollars to spend on uniform. That also includes all the monies that are spent in the contract. So to me, this is same but different. But approving the dollars for non-uniform, the handbook does say, which is, to me, I'm probably semantics of being too black and white, but it does say non-uniform personnel. Non-uniform, to Commissioner Fowler was saying, that could be the staff up there that are not on the road. They could be working in the office. So to me, that should be clarified, or unless I'm just looking at it too black and white.
I would like to ask, Commissioner Fowler if she would withdraw her, motion, and we table this for now and start working on some of the stuff and have it identified and, a clearer, and so, that doesn't have to be paid in January. So, you know, review it and clarify it and make sure that we're, you know, not paying for something and sure to wear that day, you know.
Betty, I will yield and remove my original motion.
And I'll remove my second.
I don't see, years and years and years that I've been here, this clothing allowance has been kind of a standard practice.
Mm.
I remember the discussion on it, that I can remember.
But I think we all assumed it was just
Yeah.
the uniform people,
Yeah.
not just.
Well, I think the uniform people and the people like detectives that have to dress differently are entitled to the clothing allowance, but I don't think everybody in other departments are necessarily.
Right, yeah, and that, I think that's what we have to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Sheriff, you want to speak?
Yeah, I just wanna point out the fact that when we talk about non-uniformed employees, you're talking about administrators who are not part of the union, but you are also talking about individuals that are part of the union. My detectives are non-uniformed and they are part of the union, so as you formulate your conversations moving forward, just understand that some of that is in the contract that you have agreed to.
Right,
you have
but
to
that's
pick-
in the contract.
That is in
for
the
those
contract,
people.
what you are, if you guys want to utilize your discretion outside of the contract, you are not looking at the 5 individuals, you're looking at me, you're
Right.
looking at my chief deputy, and you're looking at my patrol lieutenant. That's who you're looking at.
Or, you know, your secretaries and stuff.
Right, I hate to want to put names to it. I was trying to stay away from that. So it would be the jail administrator, the request has come down, the jail detention manager, the sheriff, the chief deputy, and the lieutenant is come down on the list. Everyone else, sheriff, they have been paid.
They
They
all
got it
have paid.
today.
All the
Anyone
union
that,
folks got
all the union folks got
Okay.
paid today.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So that's definitely looked at that.
Okay.
Thank you, Annette. I make a motion that we hold off until a little further review and inquiries on paying those 4 or 5 clothing allowances for $950. Just for now, let's just do a little more work on it. I mean, one of those guys just received the $950, received it because just came into that position. I mean, it's rough. And did you guys not sit through the same hours worth of testimony and argument with a budget committee? Yeah, so if Carrie's looking at saving us $15 a month on a water cooler, you can bet we're gonna be looking at other stuff. So my motion is we hold off on paying the non-union clothing allowances until further review and discussion.
Second that.
Okay, so just to clarify, that would also include the position, part-time position for garden manager. We'll clump it all together and view them on a case-by-case, position-driven. Okay, all right.
Yes,
There's time for that anyway.
right.
Yeah, as long as we make, yes, we're providing the garden manager safety, so that when they keep, the position is fully engaged in the duties of the garden manager, we definitely want to make sure we have precision and safety gear and what we recommend.
Oh my God, yes, yes.
So
the motion's on the floor, and it's been seconded. All in favor?
Yeah.
Opposed?
Okay,
Okay. Did you get that, Susan? And Bill, okay.
that is all. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
You have the motion, as you stated, right? Yes.
Facilities.
Actually, Chris had something that came up over the Superior Courthouse, so he and I switched, if that's okay. with
Right,
everyone.
yes, and he did tell me about that, so.
And I will try not to take up too much of the time here. As you know, yesterday I sent you folks both the decree and minutes from the tax abatement appeal hearing you had on December 7th. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to review those. We do have, you do have a little time if you need more time. We just need to reply before 60 days. So that would be sending the decree before February 7th.
When is our meeting?
You have another meeting on January 18th, another court session.
Right, okay. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to read it really well.
Yeah.
You know, for an official, document to.
I read them, but in general, I thought they were good.
Yeah, I mean, I scanned it, but I didn't read, you know, every word.
I thought you did a heck of a good job on it, Barb. I'm very satisfied with it. That was probably one of our best tax abatement hearings that we've had. I was really pleased with it. So I'm good with it, but if you guys want to hold, I don't have a problem.
I'll move then that we, approve the minutes, of the tax abatement, on whatever date that was.
I'll second that, Betty.
It's moved and seconded, all in favor?
Yeah.
Pass.
And do you wish to sign the decree and send it, or do you want to hold off on that?
I don't see any problem with signing it.
Okay, I will print, I have it, the word draft on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Before today's over, I'll print one with that removed.
Okay.
And Commissioner Fowler, can we use your stamp?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Great. That, as part of the process of keeping the records under control, I spent several hours from between, well, actually more than that, between February and December of this past year, going through, and by law, we have to describe what has been destroyed and what has been, and how. And I've gone through and made lists for each of you. And we just have to have a formal vote to, that's what happened, and we keep these permanently.
Okay, so these are records and things that we,
They've met their retention schedule
Right,
and,
okay.
more than met their retention schedule,
yeah,
actually.
some I'm sure have.
Yeah, but that was good, because I got rid of 4 boxes out in the archive that don't have to be moved, and, cleaned out some and made some extra room here, so that was good.
You need a motion for that, Barb?
Yes, please.
I need to make a motion that we approve all the records that Barb got rid of.
According to the main
All in favor?
main disposition list.
Yes, yes.
Maybe I read it with a fine tooth comb because it makes me so nervous.
Okay.
That's good, thank you.
Thank you. Do you folks want to talk about your committee list now, or do you wish to wait? Usually the first court session, you decide if you want to stay on the committees you've been on or want to make any changes.
I don't see any changes. I mean, seriously.
So sorry, I didn't.
Bill,
take-
Betty, do we need to worry about this today?
There would be one thing to add to mine.
Okay,
And I was elected to the state work board. So that,
was that this year or last
yeah,
year? Oh,
last year,
last year. Okay, great.
and so the term is still.
Okay, I'll change that. I'll add it. And you're a member, a board member?
I still with Coastal County workforce, but now I'm on the committee or the board of the state workforce.
Okay, and I'm just as a member or you're a treasurer or something?
No, I'm not in the
member.
office.
Okay, thank you.
I am a treasurer secretary of the Coastal County.
Okay,
I'm all set. You all set, Commissioner Fowler? Oh, you haven't seen it.
I am happy as a clam.
That's good.
wonderful. I'll make that one change then and we'll go from there.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Apparently this is no longer needed to be sent to the state of Maine after a lot of digging, but every year I do a certificate of incumbency. That's just to keep track of everybody's terms when they expire. And if I am correct, Commissioner Fowler and Commissioner Shore, your terms expire the end of this year,
You are
2024,
correct.
which is very sad, very sad. I thought about changing it so that you couldn't go, but that would not be legal.
I know.
Commissioner Johnson. And Treasurer, I meant to check. I think the term ends 2024. I will check that. The one that, Owen Smith is filling.
Yeah, usually it's the same,
Yeah, I think it's just till the end of.
same as mine,
Oh, okay.
but and then the sheriff is also
Yep.
mine.
Okay.
And I
I-
think deeds, I mean, not deeds, probate.
Actually, I don't do those other
Okay.
departments. It's just here
Just
in this
here, right.
particular office. Thank you for.
So
sharing that.
I'm not sure with the
I'll double check
treasurer,
that.
for the appointment type, one.
Okay, I'll double check that. Thank you. Let's see, we've done this, and this. One last thing, minutes for, again, sent them yesterday. It was a very short court session in August 11th, special session, so I happened to have time to get that done yesterday and sent those to you. I don't know if you're ready to vote on those or not.
I read
Yep.
it.
I have no problem with.
Yep. Yeah, I'm good with them. Bill, is that a motion?
Yeah,
Have a-
mine is a motion.
Make a motion.
Yeah.
Your second, Commissioner Hall, all in favor?
Thank you very much. That's all I have for you. I will, meet with you in executive session to go over the, contract.
Thank
later.
you.
Okay, thank you very much. Too many papers. Sorry.
Mr. Bryant.
He will not be in until about
He's
10.
right here.
Oh, he is. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Okay, he's so quiet.
See you later. There you are.
Good morning.
Morning, Amy. All right.
So, not too much going on, getting some paint supplies finally, getting ready to paint these downstairs offices. I moved that table out of Barb's. Gotta move some of these desks over here, figure out storage. I think I'm just gonna put those. I think they're filing cabinets right here. I'm gonna just put them in the, my shed out there in the garden in the middle bay. for now. I don't know where else. I don't really have any other room to put them. So I think that's where I'll put them for now, just storage.
Is that all right?
Um,
I don't know what I'm doing.
Over at EMA in the garden, it's just a little shed, got plenty of room there.
Would you speak up a little, Chris? So
Yeah.
Commissioner
Yeah, sorry.
Waldo can hear you too.
I am, getting prepared for the snowstorm on Sunday that is coming, getting ready for that, make sure everything, all the bells and whistles are going.
Shovels are hot to go,
What's that?
shovels?
Shovels, they're ready to go, shovels, salt, we're all good to go there. Got
Good.
some weight in the back of the truck,
Getting ready.
getting ready, here, it's coming, soon, hopefully have some, get the technician hopefully soon, I don't have too many updates with that, but I know interview a couple weeks ago went well and everything. That's pretty much it. I'm looking into also fixing the heat pump in the archive. I couldn't find any recent information on it, who installed it, the heat pump there in the old jail, the arcade building, if it has a warranty or not. So I know I had people who service heat pumps before the jail on the other side, so I'm gonna give them a call and see what they can do to take a look at that.
It's interesting, Chris, because in over the weekend, I ran into two people as having conversations with, they told me the heat pumps weren't putting out any heat, and in both cases, their filters are broken.
The water,
Filters.
the filters. Oh, okay.
So that might be something you wanted to check.
Yeah, I will check out that one. I know the one in the archive, the red light was blinking, and I Googled trying to see what was wrong with it, because I didn't have the manual in front of me. It said that there was something stuck in the fan, so I went outside to look at the outside fixture of it, and the fan is broken right off.
Really?
Yeah, one of the blades just snapped off, and I'm guessing with that windstorm a couple weeks ago. I don't know, I don't see how anything could have got in there, but one of the blades it's snapped.
Yeah.
So I have to I'm definitely gonna call, I think it's Aaron's Electric, who did service the heat pumps before.
Yeah.
I'll give him a call, to take a look at that.
Um,
That's all I have going on.
Any prices on shingling the roof on the jail?
I have not yet. I'm still looking into
Okay.
that too. With the snowstorm and everything, I've been trying to take care of that. The generator, Sheriff's Off Boat Safety Building, that the battery had died the
Yeah,
other day, so I've been focused on that, trying to, thank God it was just a battery, figured it out. But, I will get that for next time, the shingles.
do you need a short executive session this morning?
Yes, I would like to.
Okay.
Yes, please.
We'll do that right now, then, if you
Yes,
get out of the way.
absolutely.
let me, put people. Should we?
Yep.
People here. We won't put Amy in there though.
Jason is the next, I guess. Jason, are you in the house?
Sue will be right in.
Okay, and Jason's up now.
Oh, sorry.
You can, I will take down on the motion for the executive session. I need to put motions on the executive session.
Okay, me and.
To go into seven, so was it Amy?
Yeah, we put it in.
To
And
go
then,
in, okay.
and then coming out at 10 a.m. was, me and then Bill second.
Okay. And, no action or?
No action.
Good morning, Commissioner Butler.
Good morning, Jason.
I'm sorry to hear sounds like your 2024 is not starting off great.
Jason, I am so jacked up on 6 different antibiotics. My poor stomach doesn't know what to do at this point.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Whew. But thank you. It's got to get better.
Oh, good. Oop, I have a couple of different handouts. I didn't know you were going to be remote, so I apologize. I didn't forward them on to you.
That's okay.
Onto each of you here. I've been doing some research on trying to, since the budget is all in our minds, trying to save money and things to that effect. And I don't know if either one of these are good ideas, but I wanted to at least present them to you. I was reached out by a company called Spyglass. They do auditing of bills for phone, internet, cell phone companies. And looking at, they do 2 different things. They look at past bills to see if you've been billed incorrectly. And if they have, they can recover some of those funds and get you those funds back. The way that I understand it, and I've got 2 references that I haven't reached out to yet. Saginaw County uses them, and Knox County has used them in the past. So I want to reach out to them to see their experiences, pros, cons, what they've actually received back for money and that sort of thing.
And I just ask a question, is there some reason that you think possibly we have been?
Yeah.
I
Oh my
don't,
gosh. Yeah.
and I don't know, but that's what I'm kind of curious about. The interesting thing that I will say interesting for lack of a better term, if they don't find anything, they don't charge you anything.
Mhm.
So if they don't recover any funds, they don't charge you anything for that. So if,
How do they make their money? Then?
if they find you funds, let's say they found $5,000, they charge you 50% of that funds that they found you.
So
that
it's
you-
still 2,500 that you didn't have that
Correct.
you wouldn't have gotten.
Exactly.
It's an audit. It's an audit is what it is. I think it's awesome.
The other thing that they do is they also do, they look at your monthly spending and they try to look for ways for you to save on that. And the way they make money on that is we'll say you have a 3-year contract with Consolidated and they're able to negotiate that down from 10,000 to 5,000 a year. The way they make their money there is they say, well, you're going to save 15,000. That 5,000 for the first year, you're gonna save anyway. So you're gonna pay us that first year's 5,000. So you'll save 10,000 instead of 15,000. You don't have to go with their recommendations. It's only if you actually commit to what they recommend. So again, I want to reach out to Knox County and Saginaw County to say, like, where are the gotchas? Where are the things like that? And I'm not asking for you to sign anything today. I just want to let you know I'm looking into this.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's good. I mean, to things and see what we can do to save.
Yep, exactly. So that's the first 2 sheets. The first sheet is just their email explaining how they make money and their billing policy. The second sheet is just kind of a promotional and kind of what they do. The third sheet that I have for you, well, it's a packet, really not a sheet, is the contract for Consolidated for the new phone service for 3 years. And I've, again, not asking you to sign that. Just something to look over. And I'm looking over that before we sign it, but
This is the one that we did approve.
this is the new one that you approved, the one for the $25 a month for our current lines. This is going to be the new phone system that will replace the existing one.
Okay.
So I wanted to get that one in place because it reduced it from $45 a month per line to $25 a month per line. So we're already saving there, but this will save us further. And this will also put us on the new phone system once we get that in place. So again, not asking
I'll
you to
make a
sign.
motion. I make a motion, we sign it.
Okay, you don't have to sign it today, but I just want to let you know that that's coming down the pipe.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Yep.
In favor of the motion, okay, Amy.
All right.
Yeah.
The fourth sheet that I have from you is another email, and I honestly don't know that this one is doable, but again, looking at saving money, I wanted to at least bring it to your attention. This concerns the Spillman training that we usually send 2 people to each year. I did reach out for cost of that training. The cost usually goes up 5% a year. They do have an option where you can lock in the price for 5 years for the same price, but you have to prepay that for the 5 years. So this just breaks down over the 5 years. For one person, you'd be saving $2,500. So if we send 2 people, you'd save $5,000 over the 5 years. Again, not that we have to do that. I don't know if we even can do that, but I just wanted to bring that up to you as a something to discuss or an option. Again, just trying to think outside the box a little bit as far as trying to save some money, trying to, that sort of thing. So
Jason, I'd love to, I would love to see that potential contract. And I'd also, historically in years past, and I mean, it's not 100 years ago, but it's a few years ago, in the Spillman contract, Spillman used to pay to send some of the people, because I mean, let's be honest, we pay for a Cadillac plan.
yes.
And they used to pay for our people to attend their conference. And so therefore, so many could go on their back, and then we would pay for some. Do they no longer pay for anyone?
Since Motorola purchased them, they break
Pardon
it
me?
up. Since Motorola purchased Spillman, they no longer do that. It's separate from the maintenance agreement.
That's such bull. That is just bull.
I agree, but unfortunately, I have not been able to negotiate that back into
Yeah,
the
no, I get it. I get it. But so, yeah, I guess I would. I'd like to see that, because I mean, that just really irks me. We pay more now than we ever did. Not your fault or anyone else's, but I'm
Nope.
just saying. So
Yep.
typical, we pay more and nothing is free. So yeah, I'd like to see what
And
we could shake them down for.
is they do 2 options for that summit. They do the prepaid, they call it the travel package,
Mm.
which is the hotel, the summit, the flight, all of that stuff. And then they do one that is just the tickets to the summit itself. They did send me the pricing yesterday. So I went out of curiosity and looked at flights, the hotel, and all that sort of stuff. Obviously meals I wasn't sure of, and obviously flights are going to change on a, I don't know about daily, but weekly basis. When I did price it out, it actually was, again, yesterday at like 3:30. It was cheaper to go with their full travel package. I can't guarantee that's going to be the, cheaper option every year, every day, that sort of stuff. But yesterday at about 3:30, it was the cheaper option.
And their conference this year is in Austin, Texas, isn't it?
It's in Grapevine, which is right outside of Dallas, Fort Worth.
Okay, no.
So,
Yeah, Austin. Yeah, cool.
I can't guarantee that, going forward or anything like that, but just based on yesterday's flights out of Bangor, the days of the conference, it was, but.
Did they send you all of the information on the conference, like what time different things are, the meals, so on and so forth?
They sent me the dates as far as when the conference is, the check-in date and the checkout date, and that. They didn't send me, usually what they do is they provide breakfast and lunch during the days of the conference. Dinner, you're on your own. So that's what they normally do. And then normally what they will do is they'll have each state has a user group, and they'll usually do a dinner user group one night. So usually
Oh yeah, I've been,
dinner like 4 nights, but
I've been to enough conferences. Usually you don't have to pay for too many meals. And I think Annette and Carrier, I've asked them to please help us work on a travel plan or advisory or policy or whatever. We've got to have something down pat, but yeah, I'd like to see that.
I will forward you all of these, Commissioner Fowler. I have them all in email, so I will forward you all of them.
I wicked appreciate it.
Yep. That's all I really have for you. That's what I've been.
Talk about your budget this morning.
Sure. What would you like to know or hear?
We're not here.
Yep, so I've got the printed out. This Commissioner Shorey asked me to come up with a projected IT expenses for 2024. And I think I had printed that out and handed that over. So you might have a copy of that already, Commissioner Fowler. Tried to break it down into computer purchases, Central Maine power bills for the LPR cameras that we have, 3 sets of. Software subscriptions that aren't Spillman related, e-waste recycling, Seacoast security monitoring, Spillman maintenance, building cabling, computer peripherals, monitors, mice, keyboards, Motorola Flex Mobile. And then the one I wasn't sure was printers and copiers. I wasn't sure if those come out of individual departments or the IT budget.
Yeah,
So
I don't
that's
think we
why I
decided
put a
on
question
that.
mark on that one.
We didn't decide on that.
Yeah, so that's one I wasn't
Some
sure about.
that was with you, but then there's other ones. That were
Some departments I feel like have
secondary.
purchased their own, some I feel like I have purchased, some departments have leases on copiers and things like that, so that's.
What do you think it should?
I know in the past I've purchased like HR's like all-in-one copier printer. I know like the comm center, I purchased theirs last year. I know some other departments I think have purchased their own in the past, so that I was a little.
The costs and all that stuff, we don't
Yeah.
really have anything.
It was a little gray area, so I know they purchased their own toner and things like
Yeah.
that, so
Yeah.
that's I guess what I wanted to discuss and maybe get some clarification on.
Yeah, if you could find out each department, do they buy their own or?
Yeah,
You know,
and I don't mind doing it, I just wanted to kind of get some clarification on that, because I know the DA's office is looking at, they have a lease and they're looking at possibly canceling that and just buying
Right.
one when they get in their new space.
Yeah,
So I was trying to help them out with that and kind of get them an answer.
so I don't know what, would be the best thing to do.
Yeah, and I don't mind doing it and helping them out, or.
Right, but the thing is, they may have special things that they have to have, and so I think maybe if they did it themselves and it's in their budget.
Yeah, and I know the DA's office was looking, obviously, since their budget was
Right,
cut quite a bit, they were looking for help
yeah, yeah.
that way, like,
So, yeah,
you know.
I think we need to analyze that.
yeah, so. So I don't know if you guys have, folks have inputs on that or thoughts,
Do
or,
we want to vote on this budget today or?
Yeah, we could, and then it's a question mark on copiers, but if you do some research, we can
Yep.
always either add it or.
yeah, that's fine by me, and I
There's
can,
no number in there.
yeah, and that's just where I wanted to be, I wasn't sure on that one, so.
So.
And-
24 projected IT expenses.
Yep.
I move that, we approve the amount of $324,978.12.
The second,
Yeah. I'd like to see the breakdown afterwards so that I can confidently look at that and be able to say, okay, so probate has all new computers. It's been so difficult wondering who's got what for technology and how old it is, so.
Yes, and I
hope
think,
we can,
apologize, I thought I got you a list of that inventory, Commissioner Fowler, if I didn't, I apologize, I do have that, I will
I
send that
think
to
you
you.
did at one time.
Yep.
Jason.
Yeah, I will get that to you, because I do have that ready, I thought I printed that out for you
Yeah,
folks.
why don't you send it to all?
Yeah, I will send that to all of you.
thank you, Jason. I seconded that motion.
How do we vote?
Is there a second?
Second, yeah.
I seconded.
Okay. So, Jason, there was, we'll have to move money from, technology reserves.
Yep.
We're short, $16,000. I just added it up on
Yep,
machine. So we won't really need that, but, in April, we'll be adding more back
no,
technology, so.
I'm not gonna go spend all this today or anything like that or anything. And I will get approval from you folks before we start, I will keep you up to date on when we start spending, making big purchases and
Sure.
things like that anyway, so. And I will keep track of this and kind of give you a monthly update of where we stand and all that sort of stuff. just-
Technology this morning is, 316,000.
Okay, and I'll let you know when we start.
Put in the other.
I'll check my checkbook and let you know where I stand. All right, that's all I had unless you had any questions or anything for me. The other thing I did want to let you know, and I talked to Commissioner Johnson about it this morning, is I'm gonna start working with her on exploring using Teams to do the remote meetings. We already pay for that as part of our office subscription.
Yeah.
So if we did that instead of Zoom, we should be able to save about $2,000 to $3,000 a year on that as well.
Okay,
So
good.
we're gonna see if that's a viable
Okay.
option.
So
So,
we're gonna practice, you know,
Yep.
we're gonna try it because neither one of us have done it as a host.
yeah.
So we don't know
You wanna-
exactly
yeah.
what we can
Yep,
do.
so we're gonna explore it and see if it's a viable option.
I mean,
So,
we both have used it, you know, in
Yep.
some capacity, but we never were, was a
Yeah.
host.
yeah,
Okay,
yep, so that's just,
Okay,
so I am definitely looking at the bottom line and where we can cut things, but without,
All right,
handcuffing ourselves up.
we're gonna
So,
take a 5-minute break.
all right, thank you.
This side of your way.
Squeeze it, yeah.
There you go. There.
Correspondence. You have any, Sue,
I don't have anything. Barbara, I had put her on.
Okay. you wanna
I'm
hold
working.
to and see if she has,
If she has anything else, sure. Oh,
I don't think she has anything
I
more.
think she's all set.
She did hers,
yeah,
Other than I've been working on the meeting, you know, the minutes.
right, she did hers earlier, so.
Yeah, I think she covered everything.
You're all set, right?
You'll need me when you review.
good, your contract,
Yeah.
Right,
let's do it now.
right, let me, do we need to go into executive session?
Have
Uh,
you done public comment yet?
No.
This should just be approved, doesn't it?
Right.
Didn't have to be.
No.
anything.
That's coming after, Dale and Cody.
It should just be signing it. or
Yeah.
Approving and signing it. We have the contract.
That's up to you folks.
So,
Let's do it now, Bob.
Okay. Sure thing. Sorry.
No problem.
there's quite a few people.
Do you need a net, do
They've
you have
been
any,
putting the waiting-
do you have any questions on the pay scale? Do you want to have a net in here in case you have any questions on the pay scale?
Pardon me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let me grab her quickly. Oh, they're gonna- It was on the agenda, they had a journal, but I don't know if it is or not, at this stage, they might be just ready to, but I think we probably should, just because of the things that. Oh, I know, it's on the agenda, yeah, but we're not ready, yeah. Did you want to go into executive session in case you have any questions and then come out?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, all right, so I'm.
Are we going in executive session?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, let me get going here. Come on.
Thank you, I'm just gonna grab those.
Are you gonna move Betty to go in?
Absolutely. Should be up on my computer.
Yeah.
Oh. Scales are not with it, but if you need to hear it.
Yeah, no, that's not it. Oh, unless you have a question.
Sure.
I'll look at you. Okay.
Any questions for us?
I mean, you can still hear us, right?
Yes, I can.
Actually, I think we come out, pretty well. Okay, second, all in favor?
Yep. Did you hear me, Betty?
Thank you.
Yeah,
So I have a motion to, we'll, sign the contract.
So move.
Second,
All in favor? Thank you.
I'll bring you two last pages to
Yeah.
sign right now, because they need an original and we need an
Yeah,
original.
okay.
So I'll be right up. They're right here.
And then I made the motion to, claim the contract.
I'll give you each one. Your name is right here.
Okay. Thank you. All set?
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. Moving on. Bill. You're up.
Let's see.
good morning, Dale.
Good morning. I've got a bunch of different topics. We had a disaster recently. December 18th through the 24th. We activated a shelter at the at the Belfast YMCA, at the Waldo County YMCA here in Belfast. We used, or we're looking to use funds out of the shelter reserve, management reserve. We had about $2,700 worth of expenses for that. We had 16 people the first night and we had 7 people the second night. And it came together great. And it was all due to amazing support from the YMCA, from the Belfast Soup Kitchen, and from Belfast Public Health folks on that.
Dale, do we get any help or reimbursement on that?
Well, that's the second part. So FEMA's in town right now. As a matter of fact, they're in Winterport right now, town office.
2 weeks after the storm. That's nice.
Well, we have to get through the storm and get the damage assessments from the towns before we can even call FEMA.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, most of the towns are what I refer to as volunteer towns, and it takes a while to get the damage estimates out of the towns many times. They are going to be doing today Montville. They did Searsport. They're in Winterport and they're doing Unity. And then tomorrow they're going to Troy and Lincolnville. And there was one other. I don't have it down here. But they're going out there to assess damages. It's going to be real close call. I don't know if we're going to make it. We have to hit $182,000 in damages. And our original number starting from was around 200,000, but they don't count any type of lines that are under 3,900. The town of Searsmont had 2,500 in one category, 300 in another category, and 3,500 in the third. None of them will count towards that. So that drops our number down. The feds, the debris is not debris unless it's transported off-site, processed somewhere, and sent to a licensed facility. If it's chipped on the side of the road and spit in the woods, it's not debris. It's
Really, I mean, people actually brought their chainsaws, cutting trees out of the road so they could go by.
Yep.
You know, I know my son with the plow, came with the plow to push a lot of the wood off the
So the
road.
rules are written for New York City, not Belmont, Maine. And so it's all up in the air. They may treat some of the debris as emergency services work. If they do, if they don't, we won't make it.
I mean, it's people help out, but,
Yep.
you know, you
Uh,
get some of the damage.
The
done.
state will get a declaration, because Oxford and Kennebec and Franklin counties and and Androscoggin got hit really hard
Yeah.
with flooding damages.
Right.
So their DOT damages alone met the state threshold.
There was some flooding too in Lincolnville, wasn't there?
Unfortunately, or fortunately, it didn't cause any damage. It flooded and everything's still there when they left.
But they're so used to it now on the beach anyway.
Oh, yeah. So it's a real, I wouldn't put any money on the table that we're gonna get, Waldo's gonna get declared. If we do, I'll be able to celebrate, and if we do, I can put in for the shelter expenditures that we spent to get reimbursed. Matter of fact, the whole amount. We had enough donated time and volunteers as a soft match to make up, our component that we would have to pay for. But, so that's kind of up in the air right now. But we met, Wednesday morning, to decide to put on the shelter. I talked with CMP, they said, yeah, you're not getting power back. The weather service said, yeah, it's gonna be really cold. At 9 o'clock, I met with, Russell Workman, Sherry Merrill, and Susan Dupler. And at 9 o'clock, we decided we were gonna do a community shelter, and by 6 o'clock, it was up and running, fully staffed for the next 3 days. And it was all due to the volunteers from the soup kitchen that basically came forward. We tried to get the Red Cross, they said, don't call. So. But yeah, we had a huge number of volunteers. It worked out amazing.
Good.
Let's see here. We had just recently, I had asked, and I think Kara had managed to talk to you guys about doing electronic payments on something. We did electronic payment on a tower.
Yeah.
Trailer. The only thing that would really work well for us if we could do it on a regular basis would be for any of the Homeland Security projects. We buy big generators, we buy shelter equipment, and unfortunately, it's way above my credit card. And many of them don't want to take a check. So if it's okay with you guys, and we'll get permission before we make the purchase, but if we could do electronic purchases on Homeland Security projects.
I don't see why not.
Absolutely.
We've only got probably a couple coming up in the next year.
Yeah.
But it saves the whole issue with the credit cards, it saves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we still have to process it and
Right.
approve, you know, so.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay. And then the last thing I've got here is an update on our projects. For the EMA building, we finally got the warehouse completely done. The EMA building is done, except for, we have a very high iron content in the water, and we may look at putting in a water filtration system, but we'll probably wait till spring to do that.
That's not surprising.
And then we've got, we poured the slab for a woodshed, but we'll be building a woodshed next year. We wanted concrete for our flagpole, and you could only order a certain minimum amount, and so we had leftover concrete, so we built a pipe for woodshed. We've got a few things left to do. We still got some paving to do, guardrails going in, so there's still a few things going on out there, but that'll finish up in the spring. The deeds office, right now, we're basically waiting on the HVAC guys. With their mechanical, they're supposed to put in a new lines for the environmental recovery, the ventilation unit. We're not replacing the ventilation unit, but the piping for that had all been crushed in the past, and we're putting in new that. We're putting in a heat pump system so they can cool the room. Also, they could heat it, if possible, propane is high. And then they're gonna redo the baseboard. The baseboards, there had been walls separating, those walls went away, new walls went in, so we've got to rearrange the covers for the baseboard. We're not changing out the baseboard or moving it, the heaters, but the covers for them have got to be altered. They were supposed to be in here this week. I've had 3 calls to the company. I haven't got any return calls, so I'm trying to find out when I can get them back in. Next week, we should be putting in the flooring, for that, area. The cabinets are all done, the kitchen cabinets, the plumbing, the sink, all that stuff is in. My structural guy is packing up to go to Florida. I don't have him anymore, and we still haven't gotten the Dutch door to go in yet, so we may be reaching out to another carpenter to put that interior door in for us.
Has Dale, has Stacy and the ladies from Deeds had an opportunity to come over and see their new digs so far?
I know Stacy has been over,
Yeah.
to take a look.
I sneak in every time I'm in the office, and I'm so excited for them.
Once the floor goes in and the tiles go in, it'll look done.
Yeah,
But it always looks like it's still,
yeah.
when those two things haven't been done.
I hope they're happy.
And we still got some internet to do. They still need to put in the boxes for that, but it's been painted. I'll have to figure out also the floor trim, because I won't have Dennis Fry, because he'll be gone. So I gotta figure out the floor trim, and then once the floor goes in, and that door, that Dutch door. And then in the spring, we're gonna replace the exterior door. The exterior door, actually, when the flooring goes in, isn't gonna be able to open. Because the
Good.
door sits, the door sits so low, you can't open it. It's so all rotted out. The door is probably 80 years old. And you can stand there in front of that door and feel the wind blowing on you. But we figured we'll wait until Dennis gets back in the spring to replace that.
How are we doing cost-wise on the project, Dale?
So right now on Deeds, with what's been spent and what I've still expected to be spent, we'll be around 195,000. We have a budget of 225, so we'll still have some left in the budget. And actually, if there was money left in the budget, I'd like to make the recommendation, and this would be next year, but I'll give you a heads up, is when we started taking out the windows of the old part of this building, the Commissioners building, they were in really bad shape. And if you're walking in the front door of the Commissioner's office and look up at that window on the next floor up, you can see how bad those windows are. If we've got money left over, and with your approval next year, I'd like to spend what's left replacing some of the windows upstairs.
Probably would be a good idea.
I think we have.
That's a good plan to think of, Dale. That's awesome. Where are we at with the DA's new office?
The DA's office, we got the proposals, and I signed the proposal and sent them back to them, to RH Lambeth. They haven't given me exact date of when they're gonna start, but I'm hoping it will be sometime very quick. And we're looking at, the current budget is around 420,000. We have 448. So so what we have for money is sufficient, bearing any issues that pop up, but we do finally have them under, sign the dotted line with, on board.
And they'll do the demolition and the building,
Yes. That's
but we don't know when they can start.
not yet.
Do they understand? Have you made them aware that we really need to be exiting the old Superior Courthouse by March 31st of 2024?
Yes, I brought that to their attention. While I was talking with, it's Dave Terry from Prospect. He's the person from RH Lambeth that I deal with. They're trying to finish up other projects, and as soon as they can, they're gonna get on it. They're already being hammered from all kinds of people who wanted them to come fix their homes after the December 18th.
I get it, but I
And
mean, tell them we pay up real quick.
I explained to him, I said, we gotta get out of there by the end of March, and
Maybe we should give employees who want to get out some frustration sledgehammers, and we could go up there and just start knocking shit out.
they'll actually start working and demoing at the same time. The demoing is a fairly small, I think it'll take them 2 or 3 days to have that done. Some of it will be done as, for example, they'll have to demo some pieces in the classroom,
Mhm.
but what they're gonna concentrate on up front, I believe, is the garage, turning that into office space.
Right,
Most of the work is gonna be. If we could get the office space done, we could move the district attorney in, even if the classroom's not been done. And in my area where Olga and I used to sit, there isn't any real work going on there for the most part, so. The two big areas are the kitchen, the classroom, and the garage, and we'll make sure they work on the garage first. Because if we get the garage done, DA can move. If the kitchen's not ready and the classroom's not ready, it's not holding them up from
Yeah.
from moving in.
right, but I don't wanna have and I mean, you're right, we might have to say, you know, to the folks at the DA's office, okay, wicked sorry, it's not quite done. But I don't know, just like every time I built a new home, there's always that project that, you know, kind of winds up being the 10-year project. You know, yeah, I'll get the molding up one of these days or the trim work. I'm as committed as you and everybody else. I'd just like to see it done when they move in. And I hate to see them wheeling their carts up the street, you know, on the 31st of March, because that's when we could finally get them out of there.
Unfortunately, right now, the contractors are running the show, because they've got so much work they can't keep up with it.
No, I get it, but just know, I've already got 2 employees that have texted me offering to bring sledgehammers. So we're game.
Just as long as they don't break things that then weren't going to be broken before.
You just spray paint an X, baby.
Dale, do we stay on budget in Swindle?
Yes, we're on budget with everything right at the moment.
Good.
We moved some money last time from the engineering line to the construction line.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
the deeds and DA, but right now, everything is on budget, we're not over anything.
Good.
Um,
How much work did you finally wind up doing there totally?
for out of the garden,
Yeah,
well, we're not done yet, but it'll be, pretty darn close to what we had for money,
good.
2.6.
Yeah, good.
Like I said, we still got paving to do, we still got guardrails to do. We're gonna be putting in that, place to store our fuel tank. So we still got, after they do the paving, we gotta finish the landscaping so that it lines up with the paving, so that water runs where it's supposed to go. But I think probably by June, we'll be completely done out there.
How do you find out the network area out there? How's that working?
The what part?
This network, as far as getting signals then?
Radio's working great. The internet's not working that great. Matter of fact, I was just talking with Jason. The computers are really slow. It's not computers, it's our link back.
Yeah,
Because we're not working off a server, we're working off a virtual server back
yeah,
here. We got a grant to replace all our laptops, computers.
good,
and printers and all that.
good.
We paid, well, our copier is one that we paid the lease on. It's all paid off now, so now we're just doing maintenance on that. But
All right, is that it?
that's all I've got.
Thank
If
you.
you've got more questions.
Thank you.
Dale, the only thing I have, it's not a question, it's more a statement. If you would, please convey our greatest appreciation and humor, to Rob, with regards to his response from the state GIS.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had an opportunity, I'm sure you did, to read his response.
Yeah.
And, it was so Rob. And I just kind of chuckled because he pointed out all the obvious that obviously they weren't paying attention to, weren't aware of, or whatever. And it's humbling and appreciative knowing that we have somebody that has our back, as well as you folks at the EMA office and our GIS office. So thank you.
I will. Thanks.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Mr. Blake, you've been waiting a long time. I'm sorry to
No
keep
problem.
you holding you up.
Good morning, Commissioners. So
Good morning, Lieutenant.
Good morning. I started working on vehicle pricing for 2024 back in September, October
Yeah.
to see what was going to be available for opportunities for us. What I found was the Ford F-150s that we've gone with for the last 2 years. There's no on-hand inventory at this point. Everything has sold out. They're still working off purchase orders from 2023. They are taking purchase orders for 2024. There is no build date set for them. And they are 10% more than what the purchase price was last year for those. So that's putting them at a little over 50,000 per unit. What I did find using the same CMG, it's the motor vehicle group out of Massachusetts that we purchased from last year. They have 4 Chevy Tahoes that are come in well below our current bid pricing per vehicle. They're a little over 42,000 a piece.
Wow.
They had last month when I spoke with them, they had 20 of them on hand. They're down to 4 left. They've agreed to earmark those for me until today to see if I could get authorization to make a move on them. They do have a buyer lined up if we choose to pass on them and wait out the Ford inventory to see what happens. They do have a buyer set to come in and pick those up if we pass on them. So the total I would like to try to get authorization for is 4 Chevy Tahoes. It'll be
For how many Tahoes?
4. Yeah, we were spec for 4 this year. The price per unit on them is $42,566.
Does that fit within the budget?
It's below what our budget was.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. It's a good vehicle.
I know there are several other sheriff's offices currently operating with them. Penobscot and Hancock both do, as well as Aroostook, and they've had great success with them so far.
I've been following the Ford thing a little bit, and that's not a good story. It's they're not a good source for a while.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Cody, Lieutenant, if I may ask, for the 42,000 for 3 of them is 126. If my math is correct, does that include the gear to suit up these vehicles?
They do come with some gear within them. However, I still do have a list of spec sheets of what we would need to purchase in addition to supply them with. It doesn't come with everything, no.
Right. We would be purchasing 4.
4, yeah. So the total number for 4 units would be 170,266.
My mistake, I did 3. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're setting the funds to update them once you get them, Cody.
I'm sorry.
How are you setting the funds to finish what you have to finish
Yep.
with them?
Yep, so I don't have the number on the spec sheet of everything that we need to purchase in
Yeah.
addition to, but we allot a certain amount of money for each vehicle to be upfitted and the
Okay,
upfitting
yeah.
cost. And by moving towards the Tahoe that come in underneath our price point of what we budgeted for, it still gives us room to accommodate the upfitting cost and the gear that needs to be
Good.
purchased.
Do we currently have any Tahoes, Lieutenant?
We do not. We
So it's
tried.
not,
We tried
it's
to
not
get.
even,
We
I'm
tried to get a
sorry.
price on them last year, and they were $48,000 last year through Quirk, which was $4,000 more than what we got the F-150s for. But the F-150s have skyrocketed this year.
where
I
are
got
these
it.
coming from?
They're currently in Massachusetts with a CMG. It's Colonial Municipality Group. That's the same place that we purchased the Fords from last year.
Yeah, I think we ought to give Cody authorization to go ahead, because I got an Acadia, was actually the same thing on the GMC on it.
Sure.
They're a good vehicle.
Yep, very reliable.
I'm gonna make a motion and then we authorize you to purchase the 4 and for $170,266, whatever,
Yep.
Okay. So
You want to second that, Commissioner Fowler?
What was your total, Betty? Because I come up with 168,000.
170,266.
How did you come up with that number if they're 42,000 apiece?
42,566 and 55 cents a piece.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Cody. I have pneumonia and obviously it's affecting my brain too, but okay, I'll second that motion.
Problem.
4
All right.
vehicles.
Thank you very much. I'll get working on it. I should be able to make arrangements to get them next week.
Thank you.
All right.
That's good news.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. very
Lieutenant,
much.
if I could ask you a quick question, sir? Are you in
thing.
uniform?
Yes, I don't have my vest on, but I've got a exterior, just a dress vest on.
Is that your issued uniform, our Waldo County uniform, hon?
Underneath this vest is, yes. I have a cottonella bean vest with a insignia sewn on it.
Okay, no, I was just, we were talking about clothing allowances and what's issued and what isn't. As a lieutenant representing us, do we issue you, uniforms? Do we give you like uniforms, Waldo County Sheriff's Department uniforms?
Those are ones that I still have from like when I was a patrol sergeant. I've still
Uh-huh.
maintained that same uniform.
Okay, so, but I'm assuming it would be the same uniform anyway.
It is, and
Okay,
replacement.
so you are issued, uniforms, clothing.
Correct.
Okay, okay. All right. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for representing. You represent well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good morning.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good day. Good to meet you. Bye-bye.
Do you have any public comment you want to make, sir?
Good, thank you.
We have, the rest of the day is a executive session. So you're free to go if you want, because it was just
Understood, thank you.
high up one right after the other, no big deals, either one of them, any one of them.
Have a good day.
Thank you for coming down and see us. Have a good day.
For you going in. And it will, so we're going to accept the 3C plan and we will work with Deanna on an effective date.
And does that include me as well?
Yes. it
Okay.
does.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, it does.
Good.
And they will have to work with us on how to roll it out.
All right, perfect.
But the goal here is absolutely, the commissioners will not go into arrears.
Yeah,
It will be
no,
from
we're-
point A on,
Yeah.
and there'll be no capturing additional funds.
Yeah.
So whatever Deanna gives us for an effective date, that's when it will be.
Okay.
And we'll see how we do this. I've never rolled out a new plan. as
Right.
An employer before, how quick it turns around or any of that,
Perfect.
because, and then, I know you were on the agenda. I don't know if you wanted to add what's going on. I know you're back, which is great. I don't need to get into the medical issues because this is recorded, it's confidential, but you're back to
Mike, I
work.
can't. Mike, good morning. I'm sorry. I can't be there. I have pneumonia. Could you at least come into the light so I can, hi, I'm medicated, but, and I'm looking my absolute best today. Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you,
we can-
but, Mike, who's the company you're doing the scheduling with? I don't think it would Schedule Express anymore.
No, it's a company called Snap Schedule.
Snap Schedule.
Yes. Yeah, it's an online based scheduling that's geared towards public safety and healthcare.
Interesting. Okay, we're gonna ask you to put Annette on there so that she has full visual. I mean, obviously she won't, like be able to check herself in or check herself out or anything. But we'd like her to have full access to it,
Okay.
be able to see it
Yeah,
at all.
so the way that theirs works is you pay X amount for each employee and then X each admin person. So what I'll do, if it's okay with you folks, rather than spend an extra $400 to add her, I can just give her my username and password and we'll share one if that's okay.
No, I
If
will not.
that-
Okay.
Amy, I'm sorry, not use someone else's password because the footprint means that if I'm on it, I'm under Mike and.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
have
no.
ability. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
And I won't.
So,
do that.
so what is this program costing us if it's so much per person to utilize?
It's like 450, I can't remember if it's like 400 or 450 per scheduler, which we had 3 of them. And then it is a couple of dollars per employee for their access, which it came out to just I had budgeted 2,500 for it, but it came out to just over 2,000, I believe.
So how many admin licenses do you have?
Right now, two, one for Melissa to do the scheduling, one for me. And then we have one, they set up one generic one so the dispatchers can do the call out and post an open shift if they need to.
So,
I mean, Bill and Betty, I wouldn't have a problem with taking it out of our professional services to pay the 400 or whatever for Annette to have full access, or, you know, if having full access makes her an administrator, just, she can't change anything. You know what I mean?
oh, they want me to have.
I think I can, let me talk with them. If she just wants viewing, I'm sure I can get that heavily discounted too. So, I'll talk with them, and even if they discount it, I still have enough in the budget to add another person to it, so.
If not, we can pay. Thank you, Mike.
That was it for me, Mike, unless you had something else. I just wanted you to be available because you're more familiar with how that contract language hit the, but we are going to, today, Commissioner Shuri and I can come up with dates to reach out to Matt and start negotiation schedules, because we haven't heard from him, and we don't want this to linger.
Okay, yeah, no, that's,
To start making.
I don't know where they're at. They haven't said anything to me, so I don't know.
I've already talked to the, what.
How are we doing with Knox, Mike? We never hear anything about Knox. I mean, this was a big deal. We're in January.
Can we go off the record?
Yep.
Well, are we
Well,
done? You call.
We are recording.
Yeah,
We are recording right now.
yeah,
You'd
no,
have to close the meeting to have any sort of, right?
yeah.
Or go into an executive session, Betty, wouldn't you? And come out with no action taken?
I'll, this was breaking the New Year's, you look up a couple dates.
Okay.
Okay.
So a motion to adjourn at 12:47.
Second, yeah,
And
All
then
in favor?
Amy.
Yes.
Oh.
yes.
I'll be back in a minute, Annette.
Okay, I'll get the calendar so we'll have a visual, but